Hi everyone and welcome back to this week's vlogs. This week we're going to be talking about that thing that we all experience, we all feel, we all have to deal with, yet we don't really know what it is. We're talking about stress. So most often we think of stress as something negative, or something that occurs as a result of a negative situation. So for a grad student, this may look something along the lines of having to TA for 3 hours, having to mark 50 midterms for tomorrow morning, doing some measurements for an ongoing experiment, and maybe even having an assignment for a graduate course that's due at the end of this week. Now that's pretty stressful. But what we sometimes forget to realize is that stress also happens when in times of positive situations. And for me, this was something like getting into grad school, getting to work with a supervisor that I really wanted to work with on a project that I'm really excited to work on. But with that decision came two things. The first was setting up a brand new lab. And the second was having to learn about a whole new field of biology, if not two. And that's pretty stressful. So I have to admit, I'm not usually the best at dealing with stress, but I have been trying to get better at how I cope with it. And I hope through this video and what I have to share, we can all start to look at stress through maybe a different lens. So stress causes all kinds of havoc. Maybe you lose your appetite, or your heart races and you're very anxious, or you're grumpy and antisocial because of the stressor that you're dealing with, or you haven't slept in 3 days. We tend to deal with stress as if it is an enemy lurking around the corners waiting to get us. But all of these responses that we feel when we are stressed typically and historically have prepared the body to deal with the challenges that are at hand or are coming up. And so what if we sort of think of stress as something a little different? What if we think of it as a helping hand, something that's there to help us get through those challenges? This is something I've really been striving to work on, and I've tried to do this in 3 ways. So the first is I try to recognize that I am stressed, and I do all of the above things that I mentioned, and I try to figure out what the cause of the stress is. Typically this happens in the form of meditation or even just talking out loud to myself. The second thing that I do is plan around the stressor, and that is when my handy dandy little planner comes in hand. And I set up short-term goals for myself. This is usually on the timescale of days to weeks. And as I get through my days and as I get through my weeks, I can scratch off all the goals that I set. And as I do that, it really helps me cope with the stress at hand. The third thing is to talk about it. Talk about it with someone that's willing to listen, a friend or a family member, a mentor, a confidant. Sometimes they can share advice that they have used to get through a similar situation, or even give you insight into how you can deal with it. And that can be pretty helpful as well. So maybe the next time that we are stressed, let's look for that silver lining. Let's take the reins into our hands and try to convert some of that bad stress into good stress so that we can all deal with it a little better. So please like, comment, and share our videos and tell us how you deal with stress. And make sure to check out our other vloggers through the rest of this week to see how they deal with stress.